Welcome to 10-Minute Messages. Through sick and sin. That was the vow my best friend and I made to each other as children. Not through thick and thin, but we vowed that we would hang in there with each other through sick and sin. Grace and peace. I'm Reverend Dr. Kaylee Johnson, and it is my joy to share with you a word about social wellness on behalf of the Fellowship of Women Clergy. In this message, I'll share with you the ways in which healthy relationships and friendships are linked to our overall well-being, and share a reflection from the Bible, from the book of Job in particular. Social wellness has to do with our ability to create and maintain healthy, supportive relationships with our family, friends, and peers. Friendship relationships in particular impact our social, emotional, physical, and spiritual wellness. The Mayo Clinic says this: friends also play a significant role in promoting your overall health. Adults with strong social connections have a reduced risk of many significant health problems, including depression, high blood pressure, and an unhealthy body mass index, or BMI. In fact, studies have found that older adults who have meaningful relationships and social support are likely to live longer than their peers with fewer connections. My prayer is that we would give attention to cultivating healthy relationships in which we are both the recipients and the givers of empathy, love, and support. The book of Job recounts the story of a godly man who met with multiple life tragedies in a very short period of time. If bad day had a face, Job's certainly would be there. He was robbed of his wealth. Most of his staff was killed, and his 7 sons and 3 daughters all died together in a house collapse. Later, he contracts a devastating illness resulting in painful sores from the soles of his feet to the top of his head. He is experiencing an unimaginable degree of suffering. His anguish is mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual. If ever there was a time when a person needed supportive friends, it was this. Perhaps you've had your own pain, your own losses, your own suffering, your own illness, your own sadness, your own grief. What did friendship look like for you in those moments? Well, Job's friends are known for behaving badly. They are known for saying the wrong thing, for responding in the wrong way. Have you ever had a friend say the wrong thing to you in your moment of need? Have you ever had a friend hurt you or make you absolutely furious because of how they showed up in the midst of your pain? Well, it didn't start that way for Job's friends. They actually started out pretty well. Their initial response models for us ways we can be in loving, empathetic relationships with others. Let me share with you the text of Job chapter 2, verses 11 through 13. It says, when Job's 3 friends, check out these names: Eliphaz the Temanite, Bildad the Shuhite, and Zophar the Naamathite, heard about all the troubles that had come upon him, they set out from their homes and met together by agreement to go and sympathize with him and comfort him. When they saw him from a distance, they could hardly recognize him. They began to weep aloud, and they tore their robes and sprinkled dust on their heads. They sat on the ground with him for 7 days and 7 nights. No one said a word to him because they saw how great his suffering was. What a passage. Note the words that are used here, the action words, the verbs. Look at what they did when they heard the news about Job. Some of us, when we hear bad news, we move into gossip mode. We want to be the first to broadcast it. We want to be the first to post it. We want to gossip. Perhaps we criticize. Some of us jump to conclusions very quickly about what's going on. Some of us are very quick to take action without first understanding the circumstances. I mean, we can have all kinds of wrong reactions to other people's circumstances. We've been on the receiving end of some people's inappropriate behaviors, and sometimes we've been the ones to exhibit those behaviors. Has this ever happened to you? Maybe it's just me, but I know I've experienced this. In this moment, though, they exemplified the value of good friends. Look here. They heard, and when they heard, they got together and they said, what can we do to help our brother Job? They responded with sympathy and with concern, with comfort. They said, let's get together and go and be with Job. Let's go and be supportive of Job. That's what they do. When they see him, they weep. This is empathy. They tore their clothes, tearing the clothes and sprinkling one's head with dust. Those were signs of grief. You see, they were exercising the ministry of presence. They showed up for their friend and they mourned with him. The fact that they considered him, sympathized with him, came to him, were a comfort. Their misstep came later when they began to engage in conjecture about the reasons for which Job was suffering. They believed that Job's suffering was an indication of God's displeasure with him, that it was retribution for his sin. They were victim to some faulty theology, faulty theological thinking, that if one is suffering, then that must mean that God is somehow angry with you. But that was not the case. These guys made assumptions about the circumstances for Job and then unwisely voiced them. Listen, sometimes it's best to keep your opinions to yourself. I'm going to help somebody today. Every thought does not need to be expressed. Sometimes we need to keep our opinions to ourselves. We cannot think that we know the mind of God and understand why other people are going through the things that they're going through. They were wrong. And so both God and Job became very angry with them. In Job 16:2, Job says, miserable comforters are you all. And in Job 42, God says, I am angry with you, talking to Eliphaz, and your two friends, because you have not spoken the truth about me. But in the end, Job forgave his friends. He prayed for his friends who infuriated him. The truth is, our relationships can sometimes go left, can't they? But staying at the table, as Parker Palmer says, and continuing to invest in them has a great payoff. If you want to know how to be a great friend, I suggest you read the book of Proverbs. There's a lot in there about the characteristics of good friends. Do you have friends that are there for you through thick and thin or thick and thin? And are you the kind of person who is caring, empathetic, and faithful in your relationships? According to the Mayo Clinic, friendships increase your sense of belonging and purpose. They boost your happiness and reduce your stress. They improve your self-confidence and self-worth. Friends help you to cope with traumas such as divorce, illness, job loss, death of a loved one. And friends encourage you to have good, healthy habits. It's important for us to cultivate good relationships, to have good friends, and to learn how to be a good friend. And it can be challenging at times. We all know this. These associations have to be cultivated. How? Spend time together. Listen and share equally. Have fun. Be honest and helpful. Open up. Be faithful. Work through conflict. Encourage and support. Make yourself available. And do like Job's friends did. Learn how to show up. Thank you so much for watching this 10-minute message hosted by the Fellowship of Women Clergy. This one happens to be the last one in our series of 10-minute messages on wellness. The message series will resume again in the summer, but if you would like to see some of the previous 10-minute messages, you can go back and watch a replay. Many of them, all of them are posted on Facebook, and some of them are also posted on our YouTube page as well. Thank you for being with us. We pray this time has been a blessing to you. It certainly has been our privilege and honor to share some of these words of encouragement with you. God bless you. Have a great day.